He left the window open and went to another. In his shirt sleeves, refreshed, his vigor suddenly restored, he began to unpack his suitcases. Within half an hour, he had emptied them and transferred his clothes to the chest of drawers, his shoes to the shoe rack, his suits to the hangers in the closet, his black suitcase with the medical instruments to a dark recess of a cupboard. The few books he had brought with him were placed on a shelf. Some Latin classics which he had got out of the habit of reading, some well-thumbed editions of his favorite English poets, 3 or 4 Brazilian authors, less than a dozen Portuguese authors. Among them he found one from the library of the Highland Brigade, a book he had forgotten to return. If the Irish librarian notices the book is missing, grave and grievous accusations will be made against the Lusitanian nation, a land of slaves and brigands, as Byron once quipped, and O'Brien will concur. Insignificant local transgressions often give rise to resounding and universal consequences. But I am innocent. I swear it was merely forgetfulness on my part, and nothing more. He placed the book on his bedside table, intending to finish it one of these days. The God of the Labyrinth, by Herbert Quain, also Irish by no unusual coincidence. But the name itself is certainly most unusual, for without any great variation in the pronunciation, one might read Quain as the Portuguese for who. Take note, Quim, a writer who is no longer unknown because someone discovered him on the Highland Brigade, and if that was the only copy, and even it is now missing, all the more reason for asking ourselves, who? The tedium of the voyage and the book's evocative title had attracted him. A labyrinth with a god. What god might that be? Which labyrinth? What labyrinthine god? In the end, it turned out to be a simple detective story, an ordinary tale of death and investigation, the murderer, the victim, and finally the detective, all 3 accomplices to the crime. In my honest opinion, the reader of a mystery is the only real survivor of the story he is reading, unless it is the one real survivor that every reader reads every story. There are also documents to be stored away, handwritten sheets of verse, the oldest of them dated the 12th of June, 1914. War was about to break out, the Great War, as they were later to call it, until they experienced one even greater. Maestro, placid are the hours we lose, if in losing them, as in a vase, we place flowers. And then it finished, tranquil, we depart this life, feeling no remorse at having lived. The most recent sheet of all is dated the 13th of November, 1935. 6 weeks have passed since he wrote it. Still fresh, the lines read, "Innumerable people live within us. If I think and feel, I know not who is thinking and feeling. I am only the place where there is thinking and feeling. And though they do not end here, it is as if everything ends, for beyond thinking and feeling, there is nothing. If I am this," muses Ricardo Reis, as he stops reading, "who will be thinking at this moment what I am thinking, or think that I am thinking in the place where I am because of thinking? Who will be feeling what I am feeling, or feel that I am feeling in the place where I am because of feeling? Who is using me in order to think and feel? And among the innumerable people who live within me, who am I? Who, quem? What thoughts and feelings are the ones I do not share because they are mine alone? Who am I that others are not, nor have been, nor will come to be?"